Greetings. Let us take a break from this discussion answering the Zionists who lie about the state of Israel and the Israeli nation. And let us pick up one of the promises that the Lord made to Abraham at the beginning of time. Among the first promises he did. Let's have a look at it. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 13, verse 16. The Lord said to Abraham, I will make your offsprings like the dust of the earth, so that if anyone could count the dust, then your offsprings could be counted. Very obvious. And in the previous videos, we also brought another verse that says, like the bodies in the heaven. If anybody can count the bodies in the heaven, then your offspring could be counted. We discussed this. We have covered, so many videos so far. 18 videos. This is number 19. If you missed anything, go and listen to the videos and check the titles. You can choose which one you want to review. So first of all, we understand that the Abraham will be a great nation, great in number, not only in status. In status, yes, high level, greatest nation, and great in numbers, like the dust of the earth, like the bodies in the heaven. And this is repeated many times, and we mentioned this in the videos before. Let's go to Genesis 18, verse 17. It says, Then the Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham what I am about to do? Abraham will surely become a great and powerful nation. Now, if we look at history past, we never have seen between the two sons. We are not talking about Keturah, the 5 sons from Keturah, the third wife of Abraham. We are talking about the 2 main sons, major sons, Ishmael and Isaac. Who fulfilled this promise? The Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham what I'm about to do? Abraham will for sure become a great nation, powerful nation. Great and powerful nation. Powerful nation. Now, if we look in history, we see that, the Israelis became a powerful nation under Solomon. And they ruled actually from Palestine, from Jerusalem to Sheba. All the articulated, all the educated know this story. And it is mentioned in the Quran as well. However, from Palestine to Sheba, you are talking about Palestine, small part of Syria, Syrian province, across the desert of Arabia, Arabian Peninsula, until Yemen today. Not a huge space compared to what Ishmael had. Let's see what Ishmael had. Not only this. He had this and much more. He had the whole province of Syria. He had Iraq, all of Iraq. He had Iran, Afghanistan. Now, a lot of the subcontinent of India that recently divided, and Pakistan became, one country, and Bangladesh, majority of Muslims in both countries. This is on the east side. On the north side, 4 Russian states are Muslim. If you go to Africa, most of Africa. If you go to Europe, one day, all of Europe was under the Muslims. So, what the Lord said, Abraham will surely become a great and powerful nation. It was the greatest empire in the history of mankind and the most powerful. The most powerful empire ever in the history of mankind. Alright, let's look, now to apply the numbers like the dust of the earth or the bodies in the heaven over Isaac and check. Was Isaac ever this huge and great in number or status as Ishmael? And we're going to prove that he wasn't. Alright, let's go to Genesis chapter 34, verse 30. And Jacob said to Simon and Levi, Ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites. He was living among the Canaanites after his grandfather, Abraham. And the Perizzites, and I, being few in number. So here we start. We start with one man, Jacob, and his family. Few in number. But this will change, and they will become so many at a later stage. How many? First of all, they multiplied so much. But let's start this, one step at a time. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 5. It says, And all the souls that came out of the loin of Jacob were 70 souls. So the family of Jacob, including Joseph, because they joined with Joseph at this point. This is Exodus. This is after they left out of slavery in the company of Moses. So the book says in Exodus 1:5 that everybody that went with Jacob to Egypt was 70 souls. 70 souls. But later on, in the next verse, it says that the Israelis were fruitful, multiplied so much, and they filled the ground. How long did this take? We mentioned before, like at least 400, 500 years to fill the ground. From 70 souls to fill the ground. At least 500 years. Plus 400 or 430 according to the book. One time it says 400, another time 430. We're not going to discuss the contradiction of this book. But say 400 plus the 500 or 400 or whatever 100 to make him a large nation. Plus remember that during Pharaoh's time and in slavery, that Pharaoh used to kill their children. And many of the Israelis died in hard work, in the hard life. They were subdued as miserable slaves. Many died. However, doesn't matter. Some of the verses in the book says that those who left with Moses from the slavery of Egypt were like 600,000. Some other verses differ. But around 600, 500,000. Alright? So now they are becoming so many and huge in number. So looks like the promise is fulfilled, 500,000. But that does not count like the dust of the ground or the bodies in the heaven. Does not match. Now we know much better that those bodies, not in millions and billions. Alright, fine. Let's go to Leviticus, book of Leviticus 26:22. Chapter 26, verse 22. There is a threat from the Lord here. I will send wild animals against you, against the Israelis. And they will rob you of your children. They will steal the children. Destroy your cattle and make you so few in number that your road will be deserted. Make you so few. This is a prophecy for the future, that the Lord is going to make them so few in number. And the animals, the beasts, will steal their children. All right, now let me mention something very funny. You know how, maybe you don't know, but those Christians know. When you come and quote a verse, they will say, what version? Because they know the difference and the contradiction between the versions. And some versions even have cancelled so many verses from them. Now, this book that I have right here, it mentioned verse in the book of Numbers, imagine, verse number, chapter 17, verse 14. Go to the King James Version, go to an IV, go to the latest versions, you will not find this. Some of them stop at 12, 17:12, and some of them 17:13. But here, I have the book right here in front of me. It says 17:14. And actually, this book, doesn't finish, at 17:14. This book actually goes much more than that. But anyway, I don't see 18, chapter 18. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this chapter goes to 28. 28. Most of their books today stop at 12 or 13. Where are the rest of the verses? Why they cancel them? Doesn't matter. This is not the discussion today. But the funny thing about this is one of the events, their wars with the Palestinians. How many died that day? Okay. No, this is the Lord destroying the Israelis for disobedience and defiance. And that day, 14,000 died. And many times in the book, in the Old Testament, many times, the Lord strikes against the Israelis, killing thousands of them. Killing thousands of them. All right. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 7. The Lord did not set his affection, Moses speaking to all the Israelis as they walk out of Egypt. They are going out of slavery. Now Moses is saying to them, the Lord did not set his affection on you and chose you because you were more numerous, more in number than other people. You are not greater number than the other people. For you were the fewest of all the people. You are the fewest among the nations. They are always few. They were always few. We have so many verses to cover. But I'm giving you one example after another. This is what Moses' prediction, a prophecy. You are always few. For you were the fewest of all the people, all the nations. Therefore, we are talking about a prophecy, a promise from the Lord, that the Lord will make the children, the offsprings of Abraham, like the dust of the ground, of the earth, and like the bodies in the heaven, billions. But here Moses is saying, you are always the fewest among the nations. They were always few in numbers. We have a lot more to show and more proofs about the same. Let's pick up this next time. Take care.